Okay, hi everyone, it's Vickie. We're going to take a look at that full moon on December 13th, 2016. It's going to be, I haven't even looked at this, a full moon in Gemini. Okay, opposed the sun at 22 Sag, when the sun is also conjunct in Saturn. And the new moon, or full moon rather, is opposed Saturn. And I know Mercury's going retrograde this month. Is Mercury still direct at this time? Or is that Mercury? Yeah, it is. But it's totally slowing down here. It's at 047. Because Mercury is a ruler of Gemini, too. So that's why it's would be relevant even more so if that were happening. Yeah, so the full moon is opposed Saturn, and the sun is conjunct Saturn. So Saturn's really coming into play here. I'm going to try to talk about something other than the U.S. election. Although I do want to say I'm waiting for that recount. You know, I was saying on the one video when it first happened how I had all this confirmation of other things, and then even while I was doing the video, I got chills on my legs again. And one of I didn't mention, I was just talking about the healthcare. That was one of the things, and I'm actually not. The chills are very much fading, so it seems like maybe that reality is fading. I hope not, but I didn't even think of the possibility of a recount. But one of the other things that I was seeing so clearly prior to the election, I was seeing Hillary winning by a huge margin, like, you know, something like 68 or 89% or something, not 51 to 53%, you know. So then I was questioning my psychic ability. Well, my psychic ability, I must be way off, you know, but I was still getting chills and all this confirmation. So I'm very interested to see this recount. I'd be, you know, that'd be something if the recount came out and she was actually, instead of winning by, or losing by 49%, that she actually had won by 68 or something like that. It's like a 6-8 or a 8-9, you know, something like that. Those are the numbers that I kept seeing. And I actually am still seeing them, but they're fading. So like I said, am I on the wrong timeline? That was my first thing. It's like, wow, how could I be so wrong? But I wonder about this recount. And then it came to me in the bathroom, too. And this is the last thing I'm going to say about it, and we're going to get to the chart, I promise. But my bathroom is my magical download place. This was the night of the election. I heard, well, he's always screaming about it being rigged, you know. And it came to me, and I was just so angry, and my emotions were so flared up, and I was just like, no, blah, blah, blah. He's the president. Like, you know, get in reality. Like, I was trying to, like, reality check myself. But I don't know. It's not as strong as it was. I still get little chills, but I was getting whole full body chills. And that's never failed me in my entire life. When I get full body chills, it's for real. So, anyways, I won't say another word about it. In this reading, anyway, I won't. Because we're really here to look at this full moon in Gemini. So the energy of Gemini. What is Gemini? It is communication. It is short distance travel. It's your neighborhood. It's speaking, writing, communicating, texting, calling, texting, emails, all that sort of stuff. So these are the things that are going to be emphasized during this full moon. It's opposed Saturn, you know, so that's interesting. You know, Saturn and the Sun. And another thing is, this is very close to that galactic center. So I don't know, I just feel, you know, the galactic center, I just feel, I was just talking about this in somebody's reading. And by the way, I am doing the year ahead readings for a few more weeks, until the end of December. If you wanted to order one, it's a tarot and astrology reading for your personal reading for you. You can find that on my site. But I was doing somebody's reading just the other day, and I was talking about that galactic center. They had I think maybe Jupiter there. And I have my moon there, you know, but I feel like it's this portal. It's this point of download. It's this point of accessing higher dimension. And with this, it could be bringing in energy from higher dimensions, which Sag rules too. You know, Sag is kind of higher learning and all that stuff, into our regular brains here, our third house, Mercury, monkey mind brain, you know, our regular brain that we use to function in this world, lizard brain or whatever. I don't know if it's really the lizard brain, but you know what I'm talking about. Your 3D reality brain, your comprehension of everything. So we could get some downloads. We could get some realizations that maybe have been floating around here for a while, you know, but we just are weren't grasping it really, like what I was just talking about. Like Spirit was telling me stuff right from day one, and I was just like, no, blah blah blah, getting into arguments on social media with people. I was very much in this brain, in my regular 3D reality Gemini Mercury brain, okay, and my higher self, whatever you want to call it, guides, angels, whatever, spirit, prime creator, whatever you want to call it, was trying to talk to me, but I was just like, I was so wound up and so, in a different, I was not hearing it. And people do that all the time. And I tell people that too when you experience death, There's a lot of people checking out around this time of year. Maybe it's just me, but I seem to think every single year we get into this holiday season and people are checking out. And I believe the veil is very thin at this time. Yes, the sun goes through and hits that galactic center, and it's usually somewhere right around the solstice, so could that have something to do with it? Possibly. Everybody is kind of in tune to spirit more because, many of these holidays are, around religious beliefs, so we're getting in, we're going into that prayer or whatever you want to, whatever your mode of spiritual connection is. But the veil is thin, and I seem to know a lot of people passing every year around this time, and getting back to my original point, this is what happens a lot of times when people pass, is that they're trying to talk to you, but you're too caught up in your grief and your mind, and what am I going to do without them, and where's the will, and how are we going to, arrange the funeral and do all this, and we're so in high alert, where your mind has to be clicking, click, 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 multitasking, and the spirits of these departed souls, whatever time of year, this happens all the time, whatever time of year, when these departed souls, they're always around you right away, they're always talking to you right away, they're always trying to make an appearance right away, but you're just too much in your grief and in your mind to feel it and sense it and realize it. And a lot of times people will say, well, it took a while. They went, and they're trying to relate it to linear time, saying, oh, well, they went away for a while because they had to go through their soul cleansing and blah, 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 and then they came to me. No, it's all simultaneous. There's no linear time after you leave the earth plane. So therefore, this is you getting out of your Gemini thinking mode and being more open to your Sagittarius energy mode to receive it. It's no time has passed in reality. It's our perception of it, and it's our ability to grasp or be open to what's going on. So our ability, what I'm trying to get to, for those of you that just want straight astrology, well, if you want straight astrology, this isn't the report for you anyway, because I do it psychically and it is esoteric. But anyways, what I'm trying to get to is this could be a time where we could be open to things that our mental mind was shutting out, or even just being so busy. Everybody's so busy at the holidays, You got to go run shopping, you got to bake cookies, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to go to church, you got to, you get your to-do list, and that's all in this Gemini realm here, okay? This other energy is here. It's trying to peek through. It's trying to come through. Another thing, with Saturn, this could totally be your ancestors, coming through. And they do come around at these times of years because you remember them. You pull out that special ornament, or you sing this special holiday song, or do this special holiday tradition, and you remember them. And I just got chills all down my legs on that one. So they're around, and that Saturn is our ancestors. It's, it's more our paternal ancestors, or if it can be, but I feel like it's our ancestors, period. It's old man time, we're coming up on that, the regular New Year celebration of January 1st is only a couple weeks away, and Saturn's father time, speaking about time and that. So Saturn, I feel, oppose this new moon, conjunct the sun. It could defy time and space. It could be major download time in a way that our brain, our Mercury-ruled brain here, Gemini, third house ruled brain. Oh, I forgot to get that thing. Will I be able to grab it? Yeah, I can grab it. Because people do like to see this. I am going to stick with this format. I watched that tape and I found it like my hands being in the way, and I didn't care for it. Maybe I can still zoom in when I'm going to talk about some stuff for you guys, but I think this is much better. But anyways, I'm talking about this third, where this full moon is in Gemini. It's Mercury, our third house energy, in a way that that part of our consciousness can comprehend and make sense of it and understand it. Because I feel like we just get about, I don't know, there's a very small percentage of what our higher mind and our spirit guides and all this stuff is trying to show us. If we can only grasp 1/100th or 1/1000th of what's being shown to us or broadcasted from the universe, I think we're doing pretty good, you know. Because, you know, we're here in the 3D reality, and we got to use the tools that we have, you know. And we've got this human brain, and it's a thinking brain, you know. And we want to reason and think and understand and wrap our head around it. So we could have some aha, full moons bring enlightenments. You know, there could be some aha moments about, excuse me, I forgot to take my vitamin thing I have to take, and I want to just do it before I forget. Sorry about that. So we could, we could have some comprehensions. It's trine Jupiter too. So that's sweet. And Jupiter is also the ruler of Sagittarius. So it's back again to Sag, 9th house, Sag, Jupiter. All the same energy pretty much, you know. So it's trining Jupiter, and it's trining Pallas and Mars. So we have this, it's making a grand trine in air. So again, air is like the sword cards in the tarot. It's mental. It's our mental capabilities. It's the thinking. It's the doing. It's all of that stuff. And Pallas is flashes of brilliance and inventions. I mean, I feel like there could just be some major wow. Like, I just get it. You know, and okay, I'm talking about downloads about future timelines that I was picking up on. But getting back to this Saturn with your family members and stuff, it could be like that. You know, you could have some major download about that. And I feel strongly that for a lot of us, it's people who are passed away. And just like, wow, you know, I feel like it could be real lighthearted, and it can be very freeing and very lightening. Lightening of, I was just 12 when I looked up there. Lightening of a heavy burden. You know, once they're out of body too, they're not carrying those heavy burdens anymore. I mean, they know what they did. They see things from your perspective. They know that they hurt you or whatever happened. But as we get older, especially things that were happened as we were kids, as we get older, or especially when you become a parent yourself, you realize things. You can cut them some slack. You can cut them a break. You know, it's like, wow, they were just, you know. And as a child, you look at your parent, because Gemini is very youthful energy too. You know, and it rules siblings and stuff. And Saturn is very much, you know, the elder parent energy and whatnot. But anyways, you know, as a child, you idolize your parent and you think them infallible. And as you get older, you could say, well, they were just like me. They screwed up. They didn't know what the hell they were doing, you know. They did the best they could, you know. And when you become a parent and you get yourself in these scenarios too with your own children, then it really comes in big time. It's like, oh wow, yeah, I was really harsh on them. And you could have some lightning and some understanding. Problem solving though, just regular old problem solving with Pallas there, because Pallas is kind of like that MacGyver, Pallas Athena. She fashioned tools and stuff like that. So something that may have been, you know, you've been trying to wrap your head around for a long time, you could just get a major, it's always just so simple. The answers are always simple. They always are. You know, it's always simple. We can complicate it all we want with our Gemini brain and, you know, put a lot of flowery language on it and intellectualize it and try to make it like it's some big complicated thing that only I can understand. And, you know, I'm the ruler and only I can understand it. You peasants should just fall in line and shut the fuck up, you know, whatever. But it isn't. It's always simple. It's always simple truths. It always is just the simplest thing. You know, it's that, what you call it too, the Occam razor deal. You know, the simplest answer is usually the one, the correct one. Okay, so we've got Mars conjunct Pallas. So this is going to give us a boost of energy. This is going to give us a boost of energy to get things done. This full moon is going to give us a burst of energy to get things done. Good thing Saturn is there, because I was just going to say we could feel kind of flighty and not grounded with this energy too. That's like the downside of the air energy. But Saturn's in there, so it's going to, Saturn's all about grounding, that's everything. Mercury's going to come up and hit Pluto in Capricorn. So this will be interesting as the holiday season comes along. Because that could be some, depending on the sign, but Mercury with Pluto, you could just say something really harsh and not even realize it. Or somebody could say something really harsh to you. And, it'd be like, wow. And there's, with Capricorn, and I'm not knocking Capricorns. There's a positive and negative. I am a Capricorn sun sign, okay? There's a positive and negative of every sign. But Capricorns, one of the things that Capricorns, the downfall, is they can be there's a little bit of a coldness to their energy. They have a good heart underneath all that hard, crusty outer core. But they can sometimes come off a little, not be a little. Let's say they can come off a little insensitive, a little cold. So you could say something and it's just like, wow, cut like a knife. Or somebody could say something to you. There could be some big breaking news, though, with this Mercury-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. Maybe about the recount, but I'm not going to keep talking about that. Because this Mercury would definitely fall under, the recount stuff would fall under Mercury. And then I think 9th house is math, too. So it's a 3rd and the 9th house axis. This is the axis that's really being activated by this. It's Mercury, Sagittarius, 3rd and 9th house. Gemini, Sagittarius. Mercury, Jupiter, rather. Okay. Now, what else is going on? Let's look over here with the Jupiter's trine Mars. Yeah, we already know that, trine the moon. Uranus is trine the sun. Oh, so Uranus is in there too. See, there's a lot of harmonious energy here. We could figure things out. We could figure things out about this election, but we could just figure things out about life in general. We could figure out things out about, this would be a good day if you were like if you're trying to do like a website or coding or something like that, and you kind of like came up to a problem, it's just like, oh, I do not want to mess around with this anymore, and just put it down. This would be a good day to maybe pick it up, because you could maybe look at it. This is a great day to look at things with new eyes. That's a key factor here. Yeah, Uranus is trining the sun and trining Saturn. So, again, it's this enlightenment energy, and Aquarius is that way. It's lightning bolts, it's sudden flashes of genius, brilliance. Sextiling the moon, Mercury square MC, conjunct Pluto, Jupiter square Pluto. Well, this is that long-term thing that's going on. I'm not going to really get into addressing that anymore. Yeah, Jupiter's opposed Uranus. That's coming up pretty close. I don't think I've really talked about that at all with Ceres. So, this is very volatile. Uranus being in Aries is a very volatile energy. That's why we're seeing so much uprising and so much, and it's that Eris energy, the Mars sister, crazy lady. This is very, very volatile. And it's warlike. Mars can be warlike. It's a god of war. Aries, god of war. Opposed to Jupiter in Libra, so completely different. Libra is the peacemaker. Libra wants balance. Libra wants harmony, above all. Libras don't function well in this kind of atmosphere. Libras are also known as lazy Libra, too. Just everything has an upside and a downside, And, but Libra and Jupiter and Libra overall, it's partnerships. It's the 7th house. Libra's 7th house, Venus. It's wanting to work together, be it a partnership. Aries, I want my way. I want my way. I'm right. I'm going to do my thing in Uranus. I'm going to do what I want to do. And, 7th house is partnership, compromise. So this is, it's an opposition, but I feel like with all these, it being involved with all these sextiles and trines, which are harmonious, that maybe we could get some going here, make things happen here. I wanted to look at this Venus at 7 degrees. Aquarius opposed Vesta at 8 degrees, or 5, still it's an opposition. Vesta in Leo oppose Venus in Aquarius. Venus in Aquarius is kind of like detached too. Like somebody who has Venus, natal Venus in Aquarius, they're just kind of, they're not real, like, they express love, I don't want to say in a weird way, but in an unconventional way, let's say that. And it's not, it's very, they're like a butterfly. That's Venus in Aquarius is very much like a butterfly energy. It's just kind of going here and there, and it's flying through the air, it's flittering all over the place. It's not like, you think of, it's not real sensual, earthy love. It's, it's abstract. It can be abstract. It can be the idea of love, rather than like the physical affection or expression of love. So there's this flighty kind of thing there. Opposed Vesta, which is very much, that's the home and the hearth, and Vesta in Leo is very much, I'm going to hug you and kiss you, and you know that I love you, and I want to touch you all the time, and physical expression of love, and very demonstrative, Leo. Where Aquarius, like Venus and Aquarius, you don't never know where you stand. They're just kind of weird. I hate to say it like that, but they're just kind of weird. But it doesn't have to be in a bad way. It's just a different vibration. It's not saying it's no good or bad thing. It's not this is good and this is good and this is bad. It's just different. That's why it's an opposition. It's completely different. So there's that going on, and it is in the house that rules friendships, fun, and celebration, and groups that you belong to. So there could be some weirdness with friends and people too. There could be some weird... well, I want to tell you that this election, I know I'm back on the election again, but just I'm relating it to this energy. There's definitely been weirdness between friends and people, people I've known for forever, 20 years. Mostly through music, and I always thought they were so cool. They're so creative and cool, and I always got along. I had a great time with them. Yeah, I come to find out that we're really fundamentally very different. And I thought we were really copacetic, my bros. We were all good. We were all cool. And even on an energetic level, because when you're a musician, you jam with other musicians. So there's this major energy exchange going on. And our energies can fall into that same vibration, that same creative space, and vibe so well together, and come to find out, wow, some really different stuff going on. So, and I think that I'm just relating that to one group of people with the musicians, but I'm sure many people have gone through this lately. People you've known for years and years, and you always got along with. You think, what the hell? Are you serious? Are you freaking serious? I don't want to get into that, but with this, we could have some awareness about that. So I feel like that's going to be really positive. The other thing that's going on is this is squaring Chiron. So there comes in the healing too, the healing of old wounds. But usually, the square comes with the friction and all that. And also, Chiron's trining Lilith. See, I feel like this is good. Because this kind of energy, when you combine the energy of Chiron and Lilith, Chiron is my old wounds and imagined or real with the South Node in Pisces and the Pisces energy, Again, I've talked about this at length, about how we blow it up over time to more than it really was, because we keep feeding that victim energy. I was the victim. No, you hurt me. I was the victim, blah, blah, blah. And then with the Lilith the energy, it could be like, I'm going to lash out. I'll get you. I'll show you. I'm going to get revenge, right? But when it's in trine like this, when it's inharmonious with this, because Lilith is a powerful feminine icon. She's just not she's not only just powerful, I'm going to seek and destroy energy. She has inner strength, You read the mythology of Lilith, it's pretty interesting. And they tortured her, they killed her children, but she still stood strong, So this could be a time to really come out of that victim mode, step into your power, at the trine, having all these realizations, having all these awakening and enlightenments and realizations and aha moments about everything. And the holidays, it's going to be a lot about our family wounds, I think, more than anything, especially because Saturn's in there too. But maybe collectively, too. Hopefully collectively. Hopefully we're going to have some aha moments. People want to know what really happened with our 3D mind. We want to know that with Gemini, we want to really know the truth. And maybe you've been looking at it through your wounded self, selection, or more about like your childhood and stuff like that, or your old relationship, your ex. My ex, it's all him or her, and I blah blah blah, and someday these illusions and these wounds that just build up and build up and build up, and then maybe we're just going to have like a real realization about it. It's just like, oh yeah, that I forgot all about that. Or even just like anybody that you're trying to paint the villain, or you're trying to blame, with my blame song that I wrote. Maybe they do have some good qualities. I'm sure they do. Maybe they didn't just treat you like shit and make you feel like shit and hurt you and wound you. Maybe they did fun things with you too. Maybe you guys had lots of fun things that you did together. If it's a relationship, they must have did something to make you fall in love with them. They must have had some good quality somewhere along the line. It's not everything's not so cut and dry. That's what I could say, especially with this Aquarius energy. Like, it's not just one way. It could be many ways, there's no one way that's right, no one way that's wrong. We're going to be open to higher enlightenment. I think that's so key. That was the first thing that hit me when I saw. I did not look at this chart at all. I just opened it and turned the tape on, like, just now. Sometimes I'll kind of look it over and, okay, what's going on? I didn't look at it 1 minute. This is what grabbed me. That galactic center, that download. The download from the higher mind to the human mind, the human brain. And there's trines and sextiles all over the place for us to have enlightenment. So let's be enlightenment. Let's be free. Because holding this pain is not hurting anybody but you. If you're holding on to this pain, and if you're waiting for an apology, chances are you're not going to get it. If the person's dead, you're definitely not going to get it. Well, maybe in the afterlife or something like that. But so it's up to you to forgive and move on and release. Because full moons are releasing. They're culmination, but then we go into the waning moon, and then it's release time. So it's time to release these stories, these stories that we tell ourselves, our victim story, or our whatever story, or whatever story that's making our life a living hell, an imprisonment of our own minds. And it could just be anything. It could be just anything. We tell ourselves stories constantly, Anything story you're running in your brain that's making you feel like shit, it's time to drop that, okay? I was just picking up rocks today to do more rock painting. We have this cool thing about, around here, we paint rocks and hide them. And then we put this label on the back, you found a rock, and post it up and rehide it. So everybody's doing it. I've been doing it. It's really fun. But I was just pulling my rocks along, and it reminded me of that story, and I believe it's either Mary Summer Rain. I've mentioned it before. It's either Mary Summer Rain or Lynn Andrews, who I had the pleasure of interviewing not too long ago, and one of my idols. But it was one of those books where the woman is getting taught she's the apprentice to the medicine woman, and the medicine woman is taking her around, and the apprentice is bitching, well, this and this happened. Every time she's bitching, the medicine woman says, pick up this rock, pick up this rock, pick up this rock. And then by the next thing you know, she's carrying around this big heavy bag of rocks, I was just thinking about that story this morning when I was down by the creek with my bucket of rocks, and but I'm going to paint them and have fun with them. But it relates to this chart totally. And then she's like, so is it really worth carrying this but rocks around with you? To illustrate the point that we're just carrying these burdens around. It's just a burden on yourself. Those people don't care. And half the time they don't even know. Half the time they don't even know, So if you're waiting for somebody to realize that and come back and say, yeah, I was an asshole, I'm sorry I hurt you, you're going to be waiting a long time, So there's no need for that. You know, there's no need for that. You need to release it. That's all. And it's instantaneous. It happens so quickly. You know, it happens in an instant. And I'm not trying to call anybody out or, you know, being, you know, mean about it. I do the same thing. I do it all the time. I catch myself and running around in your brain, you know. Well, here's what I should have said. I should have told. I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. I'm going to let them, you know, next time I see that one, and you have your little speech all rehearsed. Get rid of that. That is not doing you any good. That's all the ego. Yeah, that's all the ego trying to control your life. And the more we can let spirit in, the more we can do this Sagittarius, this galactic center, this ninth house, Jupiter energy. And Jupiter's getting aspected to everything too. So that's the ruler of Sagittarius. So the more we do that, the freer we are, the lighter we are, the happier we are, the more able to... Because what are you really seeking by this? You're seeking love and acceptance, right? That's what we're all seeking. So the more you can release the past, the more room there is for other scenarios to come in. And the lighter your energy is, the more you're going to attract that to you, and the more you're going to draw it to you. Okay? All right, I think that's a good place to end. I went way over my usual time frame, so that means I'm going to have to splice some tapes. So this will be up. It'll be hours till I get this up, but at least I got it done. Hey, people ask all the time about how you can get this or get that. Everything's on my site now. It's just VickieVerley.com. There's a link in the eye in the sky up in the corner there, that little circle. Everything's here for the books, the calendar. I'm very excited about the calendars for 2016. You know, I've got the... If you're into astrology, these are some good calendars to have. These gray areas are the Mercury retrogrades. I give the new and full moon. It's got astrology, but not a ton. So especially if you're looking to learn astrology, and it's got some cool artwork too. You know, we've got the Tapestry of Life ones if you want something more elegant. If you like the fun and funky ones, then you've got the Rock and Roll Prophetess. But both have the same things on the pages. They have Mercury retrogrades, new and full moons, super moons, when the sun changes sides, solstice, equinox. The major things that everybody wants to know. You know, that all the time. So it's on here. It's easy to understand, but it's a regular wall calendar. So like if you're like me and you like to still write things on your wall calendar, hang it in your kitchen so you can see. I know most people have it on their phone these days, but I like to have an actual wall calendar. And then here it is. And it makes a great gift too. And the other thing is I am open for the readings. This is the year ahead reading. There's 4. I do it in quarters, which makes it real easy to make breakdown and timing, because in each quarter there's only one of each element. So say it's Earth. I'll say, well, the Earth sign time in this quarter, blah, blah, blah. And it's a psychic reading too. I use cards, and then I look at your chart too and look at some of the big transits. I do it once a year. It's going to be available till the end of December. It's very popular. And then, of course, there's always another thing that makes great gifts is all my tools, the decks and everything. It's all on this page. It's up at the top. If you're on a mobile device, it's all here. So it's very easy to find. You know, take a minute to look that over before contacting me and asking me how to do it, because it's all right there, nice and easy. Easy peasy. And then, of course, the Redbubble site, too, has a ton of stuff that's really fun and really cool. So, yeah, where's that chart at? Where is that bad boy? So, and we need the other one as well. Okay, yeah, so, yeah, here it is. Full moon in Gemini. I mean, if you want to do the work, this could be, you could make leaps and bounds in consciousness during this time. Leaps and bounds, okay? But you gotta release some ego energy. You gotta realize that people make mistakes and cut them some slack. And realize that nobody's all good or all bad. Cut some people some slack here. If you're open to it, with all this trine, and if it could be less painful with all these trines and sextiles, So, if you're open to it, there's great energy for spiritual growth and comprehension and having some understanding and figuring things out and gaining peace and insights into many things that might be sort of an open wound or a raw nerve for you. You may be able to have some healing and, come to terms with things. Okay? And I just have to say, they want me to tell you that if you're feeling these loved ones around you right now, they're definitely with you. I promise they're there. And I'm getting chills telling you, and hopefully you're getting chills too. If you're coming through your holiday traditions and you're missing those loved ones and you're remembering them, they're there with you, I promise. Okay? Okay, everybody. Hey, thank you all for subscribing and liking and sharing and commenting and everything you do for the channel. Please check out some of the cool stuff that I have for sale, like the calendars and that. And remember, you are love and beauty incarnate. Have a great holiday season, and I'll speak to you soon.